Yes, you. Welcome to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, a podcast for people who want to disrupt their lives for a good reason, to make it count. I'm your host, Jen Glantz, and every week I'll drop a new episode with stories from real people just like you, who woke up one morning and decided to make big changes, starting with small things. We'll cover topics like entrepreneurship, love, failure, and self-care. Hey, you're not getting any younger, so let's make this an adventure. Ready? Hello, any youngers. What's up? It's me, your host, Jen Glantz. Welcome back to another episode of the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. Because the truth is, none of us are getting any younger, yet we're all still here, we're still kicking, our hearts are still racing, and the months are flying by. You know it, you've listened to this show before. This podcast is all about how do we kick your life around a little bit, shake some of those things up, and get you feeling and living in a whole new, better way. That sounds super cheesy. It sounds like I'm on the Home Shopping Network. Truthfully, my goal with this podcast is to help you disrupt your life, to make it better, to make it more you, and to make it more real. What's going on with you? It is the middle of November. Thanksgiving is practically tomorrow. I hope no matter where you're going and what you're doing for Thanksgiving, you're finding a way to do something nice for yourself. I know that holiday times have the reputation of being family-friendly and fun and great and home-cooked meals and apple pie, but the truth is not everybody gets that. For some, holiday time is the most stressful time of the year, and if that's you and you're listening to this and you're thinking, ugh, I'm dreading being with my family, or I'm just dreading having to travel, or something about the holidays just makes you feel super lonely, no, you're not alone. Not everybody is enjoying the holiday season, even if it seems that way from social media. And I know this is a really tough time of year for some people. So those of you who it's not a tough year for you and holidays are incredible and you love every second of them, perhaps you can reach out to people in your life during the holiday time and check in on them. Invite them over. Just say hello. Because regardless of if you have everybody in the world on your side or you're sitting at home watching Netflix during what should be the happiest time of the year, it's important to remind each other that we're there for you. We're there for all of the people in our lives, not just when we need them or when it's convenient for us or when we have nothing going on. This all leads me to the topic of today's episode, which is talking to your friends. The other night, I found myself sitting on the couch, solo, spending over 90 minutes, and this is embarrassing to admit, so please forgive me, but I spent over 90 minutes Facebook and Instagram stalking people who I haven't spoke to in years. Now, these are not celebrities, these are actual real live people who were once friends of mine, who I have tons of memories and photos with and stories about, but I haven't spoken to in such a long time. If you've listened to this show long enough, you know that I have a bit of a friendship problem. I don't have 1,000 friends, 100 friends, perhaps even more than 5 I can count on my hand. I've lost a lot of friends over the years. I have gained some, so I can't say I'm completely friendless, but I'm not the best at maintaining friendships. I'm not the best at growing friendships, and I can admit that. But one of the things I started to notice was I follow all these people on social media who I call my friends, but I haven't spoken to them in such a long time. And I have a feeling the same is for you. And here's what's going to happen, my friends. Here is what is going to happen. None of us are going to talk to these people. We're just going to spend the rest of our lives observing their lives from a distance and hoping they're okay and thinking about the great times we had with them. But if we don't reach out to them and we hope they reach out to us, that may never happen. So then what's the point of having this bird's eye view of their life? I thought about it as I was stalking these people on Instagram and Facebook that I would really like to see some of them. And others of them I'm okay with not seeing, but I would like to say hello. I'd like to break the ice. I'd like to open up the conversation, even if the conversation ends with, "Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you?" So here's my challenge for you this episode. Find people in your life that you haven't spoken to in a while to speak to. This is the time of the year to do that. Okay, so the very first step of this challenge is pine through the people who you used to know in life. Maybe it's people you follow on social media, or maybe you pick up your phone and you scroll through your address book and you see names in it that you haven't talked to in forever. And I want you to choose 5, a handful of those people, 5 people. And as you go through those 5 people, I want you to write down what your intention is with each of them. So maybe there's 2 people on that list that between now and the end of the year, you want to see in person. Maybe it's when you go home for the holidays, you grab coffee, or maybe they live completely thousands of miles away and you can't get together with them, but you plan a time to talk on the phone or FaceTime. 2 of those people. Now, why am I asking you to decide who those 2 people are going to be? Well, because when you reach out to people who you haven't spoken to in a while, have an intention in mind. Because what happens is, usually you reach out, you ask how they are, you say, "I hope we get together soon," and that soon turns into 10 years of not speaking again. And then maybe bumping into them in the grocery store, or maybe just watching their Instagram story for the next 10 years. So have intentions, and out of the 5, choose 2, just 2. Keep it small, keep it actionable. 2 people you're going to make real life plans with, or pick up the phone and actually speak to. Now, the rest of the people, the other 3, maybe there's 1 that you just simply reach out and let them know, "Hey, I'm alive and I'm thinking of you, and I hope you're alive and thinking of me too." And that could come in the form of an email, maybe a postcard, maybe even just a text message or a DM. Slide into their DMs and say hello. Your intention with that person isn't much. Maybe they ask you to meet for coffee and you eventually go, but your sole intention is just to touch base with them. So that's 3 of the 5, and we have 2 left. Now it's up to you to decide what your intentions are with the final 2. Maybe again, it's to strike up a brief conversation. Maybe it's to bring up a memory that's been on your mind. Maybe it's to catch up with those brief questions we usually ask people we hardly see but wish we did. Maybe those questions are, what's new with you? What's going on? What's happening in the future? I don't know. But those 2, those are for you to decide. Now think about it. If you actually did this challenge by the end of the year, no matter how holiday season is for you, you'll feel a whole lot less lonely because you've talked to 5 people in your life who you've lost touch with. Not only that, but it'll make going on social media feel a whole lot better because now you're not just making up stories in your head about these people. You're back in the story with the people. I know that I am completely guilty of holiday sadness season where I spend too much time on social media comparing everyone's happy life to my life. And this year I want that to be different. After I spent my 90 minutes stalking these people on social media, I promised myself I wouldn't do that again until the end of the year, until 2020. And every time I had the urge to sit on someone's profile and flip through all their pictures and read all their captions and wonder how our friendship became so obsolete, I'm going to say hello instead. Check in on them. And maybe they won't respond. Or maybe they'll respond with an emoji or 1 word or a "Jen, please leave me alone." But at least I'm doing something more than just looking from a distance and wondering. I hope you do that too. And hey, by the way, if you're starting to feel lonely this holiday season, I'm here for you, my friends. Send me an email. I'm always here to chat. jenglance@gmail.com. Send me a DM on Instagram as you find yourself going down a spiral of Instagram stalking. Say hello. I'll get you to stop. On Instagram, I'm at Jen Glantz or at Any Younger for the podcast. And remember, there is close to 1,400 people waiting to say hi to you in our Facebook group, our secret Facebook group, the You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group. Come hang out, join. They're not going to all say hi to you at once, but it's a really beautiful private place to spark conversations, make new friends, and just meet people from all over the world who listen to the show and share that thing in common with you. They also want to disrupt their lives. Okay, if you've listened this far, please do us a favor, scroll down on your phone and rate and review the show on iTunes or Google Play or wherever you're listening to it. It helps so much keep this show up and running, and it means so much to me. I'll see y'all next week. Until then, all my love, Jen Glantz. Hey you! Thank you for listening to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. There are hundreds of thousands of pods out there, so thank you for listening to this one. You can find the show notes for this week's episode up on our website, anyyounger.com. Subscribe, rate, and review the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast on iTunes so that other ears around the world can listen too. Oh, and join our secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group, where over 1,000 people are talking about how to disrupt their lives, for a good reason, to make it count. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.